Yes, Deebs. It is here. Hello, Deebs. Hello, Stick Shift. I think that's someone from Gears of War with the chainsaw sword. Not Master Chief. I think. But I could be wrong. I don't know that much about Halo or Gears of War. Turn that down. I said, oh, I don't know if that's, I think that's someone from Gears of War, not Master Chief. Chainsawing Leon. I think. But I could be wrong because I don't know much about Gears of War or Halo. Colonel Hoffman from Gears. Okay. I'm gonna believe you that that's a real person from Gears of War. And you're not just making that up. Because you could be. I wouldn't know. That's how little I know about it. It looks like Master Chief, but I'm not feeling with Gears of War either. They're both Microsoft sci-fi. I feel like they probably have a lot in common. Off of my go-to multiplayer character in Gears 2. My mustache is tickling me. I want to shave this off, but I want to shave like everything but the mustache as a joke and then keep that for like a few days or a week and then shave it too. But I want to have like a thing that happens that I have a mustache for, like, oh, I'm doing this thing, like I'll do this for a week, stream this for a week or something, and it's like, and it'll be some sort of theme. So but I haven't done that yet, and I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do. And so this just continues to grow, and it is just tickling all of my face. Well, not all of my face, mostly this part and like the bottom of my nose. And I've trimmed it a few times, but like, good gravy, it's just all over the place. Honey money! And people rating with honey money. Hey, thank you. Thanks, honey money. Lockdown finally allowed me to grow a mustache without everyone seeing the terrible growth phase. God, that growth phase is rough. Levitating none. Yeah, it's true. I didn't grow it as a joke though. That's okay. You can have a mustache and be serious about it too. I don't think I can. Yeah, it's got like a 10-second delay and I'm not sure why. Maybe I accidentally clicked something in Streamlabs. Because I'll see the thing pop up and then it'll be like, bah! There's an alert. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay. Vectly Vampire Hunter. Vectly Vampite Hunter D reminder. Thank you, Tyrell, for my Vectly Vampite Hunter D reminder. As maybe someday the joke will be like, all right, we should let this die. But currently I am still enjoying this joke every time it happens, Tyrell. So thank you. Also, hello, Tyrell. And hello, Blight. I miss my dyed hair. What color hair did you dye? What color hair did you dye? What color dye was your hair? What color did you dye your hair? That's English. There it is. We got there. We made it. I may be doing some reading for you all today so we're currently at, this is going to be the format front to back. I've got the notes above and below it. So this is what we're looking at. So you can see what we have currently is more than one page. So we're gonna have to trim it because these are generally 1 to 2 lines a piece. This section is probably just gonna get axed. Problems could get nestled into there to save some space. So the first thing we're going to do today is pretty much go through and read this and edit it and try to get it to make sure we don't have any repeat stuff, and that we have it as like basically as few words as possible, but while being entertaining. And hopefully while trying to trim it down, we'll add some more like personality to it. Or something that could be mistaken for personality. Because currently we're at 888 words, which is quite a bit more than the 760 we need. And you can see space-wise, we're going to run into a problem right here. So that's going to be... We also have to name the city of here for now. I've done white, red, orange, blue, and green. Ooh. All good colors. You're welcome, and I will... stop eventually. Yes, or if asked to, of course. Well, I'm not going to ask you to because I'm still enjoying it, so you keep doing it. And I guess maybe when I actually play it, maybe it'll stop. Did I see Steam? No, I haven't logged into Steam today. Should I log into Steam? Is something dead waiting for me? Dead, half dead, something half dead. Waiting is it not quite dead yet? I see chat coming up, but I can't read it because my glasses, I'm wiping them down. And boy howdy, it's my vision not very good. There was a time, I felt like not that many years ago, where I could look at my computer screen without glasses, but that time has passed. Now it's like, what am I looking at? I mean, also I've been wearing my glasses all day and then took them off, so your vision's like even more blurry because your eyes are adjusted to the glasses. But still, I would like... I feel like laser eye surgery would be cool, but I've also really enjoyed wearing glasses. The heck is in my yard? And I wouldn't want to give up wearing glasses. I feel like they're a good accessory for the face. There's a can of White Claw just in my yard. I mean, I live in a unit, so I have neighbors, so maybe it fell off someone's porch. Is something dead waiting for me? What is Blight, a cat? Yeah, Blight dropped off a mouse at my door. Well, hello, the other Frost. How are you and what brings you here? We're just doing some chit-chatting and catching up before we start. Are you here for the RPG stuff? Also, the main Autotop? I don't know how to say that. followed while I was off, and Curtailed Comic, who is in the Escapist chat. I recognize because they've sent, and also they added me on Twitter once for a thing that they wrote. I remember them. Hi. I don't know if they're here, but hello. Oh, the other Frost. It's you. I recognize your thing. You're the new 3MR, right? I see that ice cube with sunglasses, and I assume you are. There was a time, but too many years ago, where seeing you without glasses didn't seem off. Yeah. That's true. Now, I just wear them all the time. Stay away from eye surgery. Know multiple people who ended up still having to wear glasses after they had it. Oh, that stinks. I know quite a few people that have had successful eye surgery. So I'm curious what makes it not work. And stuff. Also, hi Stick Shift. I am indeed the new. I am indeed for the RPG stuff and overall chill vibes. We have zero chill. It's just pure chaos and shouting. I'm just kidding. We're fairly chill. And you're the newbie. Haha. Awesome. Well, good to meet you, Frost. I guess here. I have still only interacted with you in text form, but good to meet you here as well. Meeting you outside the air quote office. New 3MR. Yeah, new 3MR. Just one thing Jesse doesn't do here. It's chill. Yeah. But dude, you got a great voice. Looking forward to hearing more. That's what I haven't listened to you yet, Frost, but I have heard you have a great voice, which sounds very intimidating. Like I'm gonna hear it and then be like, well, I guess I'll just stop doing this now. Like I've been bested. I'm out. But I have indeed heard you have a great voice. You can hear my not great voice as I read a lot of text today. Which is weird because my throat's a little dry. I'm drinking water to try and help. Probably need some like something better, but oh well. Watch 3MR for Neon Blight. It's a very pleasant listen. Ooh. Oh good, that came out. I gotta watch it. Meanwhile, I'm here trying to keep on par with your writing. Oh! Oh, you hit me right in the weak point of that compliment. Oh, the writing. Oh. That's the best compliment you could give. Like, I like those words you put down. Thank you, Frost. Or the other Frost. Telling you, man, like chocolate melt in your mouth. Oh yeah, I actually have some. Hang on, I gotta get one of those. Let me get one. I bought one because I bought a pack of those because you mentioned that Blight, so I'm gonna get one. I got these. Does it make you sound sweeter? Oh, he's bringing the jokes. That's legitimately funny though. I got these. It's not called Monster Roth. It's Moser Roth. But I always look at stuff and then my brain is like, this is a word. But they're like fine truffles, dark chocolate. If I put it in front of my face, it'll probably help keep it from bugging out. It's like a chocolate outside and then a gooey chocolate inside. Makes your voice sound smooth. I don't know. I don't think mere chocolate could make my voice sound smooth. Oh, these here I got. There's like gooey chocolate in it. Was that your seduction voice? I feel like I don't have a seduction voice. I feel like I have normal, trying not to get discovered as Midwestern voice, and then grumbly, what my partner calls my D&D voice, and then necromancer. And that's pretty much the only things I can do. Essentially gets rid of excess air sound in your voice. Had it recently, a chocolate give you migraines, so I gave it up. Oh no. Like, what about the chocolate can give you migraines? Like, or that it's just like theoretically, not theoretically, but like some people say that it gives that migraine, so you gave it up just in case because you have migraine problems. And they're just trying to like systematically remove things. Am I allowed to drink water after I eat one of those? Or should I just like let it coat my throat? So I'm like instinctually going for this water. This song has lyrics, and that might become a problem. Not sure what the details are, but chocolate is like at the top of the list of foods that can give you migraines. Cheese is up there too. Huh. That's good to know. I will, if I have a migraine again, I will try to remember what I ate if I ate either of those. Because those are, I don't eat a lot of chocolate. I used to eat a lot of cheese. Now I eat like probably a normal person's amount of cheese. But growing up in Ohio, we lived in Amish country. I was not Amish, but there were a lot of Amish people around, and like Amish cheese was a big thing there. So it was like fairly low cost cheese. Really good because it's just locally made cheese. We bought just ass tons of cheese. So that was like my main diet. It was like just bricks of cheese and pasta. That's what I grew up on pretty much. Yeah, there was the one place we would go to in, I forget where. There were a few places around there, country spots in Ohio that have different names. That like the front of the store was where they sold the cheese, and then there was a giant window in part of the store that just looked straight into the factory part where they made the cheese. And I think they were Mennonites because they did have refrigerators in there, and that's a no for the Amish. Or someone else owned it, and it was just the Amish farmers and Amish cheesemakers, because some Amish will allow themselves to work for someone that has electricity and technology and stuff like that, or certain technology at a certain point. Because it kind of depends. I'm not sure that's the only difference, but that is one of the differences. Is Mennonites can have like, I think, electricity, or they're more like loose with the technology side, like owning and using technology. Some Amish are like super strict where they're not allowed to like use it at all, and then some are like, we just don't have it in our house, but if our employer uses electricity, that's fine. Like a cheese factory or construction company. The, you know, person who owns construction company will hire Amish workers, but, you know, they have a telephone. Not the Amish, but well, some of them might. Most of them don't, I don't think. Not too well versed in the understandings of it. Hey Tonal, how's it going? All right. So here's what we're doing. We're going to read through this and we're going to do two main things. One is we are going to go through for style and be like, does this sound right? Do we like it? And we're going to go through for editing. Can we cut any of these words, sentences, repeated stuff? If we mention something twice, get rid of it. We gotta condense. We only got one page to work with. We gotta really maximize our thing. Also, we're gonna have another section down here that's for qualities and drawbacks, and these are gonna be direct things. So like a quality could be I had them down here, I think. Quality, so like ready for action. Like you're always ready, because that's a whole thing in the society that we've built is like, when something needs to happen, it needs to happen right now. So native chaos, unpredictability doesn't phase you, because, you know, you live in this world, things are all sorts of unpredictable. So things like that. That's the right word I want? Probably not. But yeah, so we're gonna have that too, and that'll give us a little more room for like some specifics for characters that people can use. So we can keep that in mind. And that's just gonna be like a single, just a title with a single sentence to explain it. And that's directly related to the characters, because the qualities are things that would be on your character sheet. So balance. In a shifting world, you know how to keep proper footing. Like, that's all about staying balanced. You could use that in sword fights, on a ship, who knows? Whatever you want to use it for. But like, if you're constantly on a shifting world, it's something that you would just naturally have as a part of you, because you've grown up in that world, so you're in this place, so it'll kind of, you know, become normal. So that's what we're gonna do. It's a big part of today. Decent amount have phones in workshops, but not their homes proper. That's another thing. You are right. Source sociology course in college. This is true, because it depends on like their personal beliefs, where it's like some Christians won't eat pork because somewhere in the Bible it says don't eat pork, and then some will eat pork, and some will only eat pork if someone's offered it to them. But they'll never cook pork, but they'll still eat it. Like if someone orders a pizza and there's pepperoni on it, they'll eat it, no problem. But they won't order a pizza with pepperoni on it. That kind of thing. So, from my understanding, that's Amish-ish. Amish as well, where it's like, well, I'll do it for work, but not for home. Well, I'll not do it anywhere. Well, I'll do it for home, but only this. So many. So Amish and straight edge. Amish are straight edge, and Mennonites don't. Mennonites don't care if you smoke; they just won't partake. Kind of. I guess that's not a bad way to put it. Yeah. Damn you, phone spell check, ruining my joke. Amish is straight edge. Mennonites just won't partake, but don't care if you do. Yeah. Kind of. Actually, both of those would still be Amish, I guess. Once again, spell check doing the most when we just want it to mind its business. Yep, that's spell check. Never mind, it got butchered. It's okay. It's all right. Technology betrays us all in the end. All right. Let's read this. And by let's, I mean me. Noclid. To those standing on it, Noclid is also grammatical stuff. We gotta make sure that's a thing. Also, I found as a I heard this from doing just too many panels, going to panels with authors, and trying to learn how to do this is a good way to help with editing. You'll never get it right doing it yourself. Got to get someone else to edit it. There's a lot of reasons for that. One of them being I'm not especially the best, but even the best in the world still gotta get someone else to edit it. So that's A. B, another thing you can do is read it out loud. When you read it out loud, it will help you stop filling in gaps that don't exist. So like Izza was missing, and that's easy to know, like okay, like I understand what this sentence means when I'm just going through it for editing, but when I have to stop and say it, I notice Izza is missing. So taking the time to read something out loud does help. Another thing you can do is I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but like do a text to speech and read along with it.
To those standing on it, Noclid small, oblong.
And be like, wait a second, small oblong, hang on, there's supposed to be a thing there. And then you can catch that and then start it over and then, you know, highlight and go. So those are two techniques that I use. Yeah, there's a wide variety of Amish practices. My sociology teacher was / very passionate about it. Interesting. It worked with some communities in Ohio. There's a lot of them in Ohio. What about RISM? The RISA? First our grandma, then our world. Yes. I unfortunately usually am still try to do grammar, then world, and then fail at grammar and just do world. Then someone else helps me with the grammar. What about RZA? I'm not sure about RZA, but have you seen The Man with the Iron Fists? Because if you haven't, you should. It's a great movie. All right, so Noclid. To those standing on it, Noclid is a small oblong planetoid that takes around 2 days to walk around. That takes... see, I don't like that sentence. That takes 2 days. That takes around 2 days to walk around. Yeah, around twice. Hate that. To walk, is it circumference? Not circumference. Pretend like I spelled that right the first time. It takes around 2 days to walk its circumference. Circumference is the correct word, right? Like the full outside of a circle or sphere. Double check myself on that. The perimeter of a circle or ellipse. Yes, okay, circumference. Circumference is the outside, diameter is the inside. And then Radius is from the middle point to the edge. Cool. So that means when we said 2 days to walk its circumference, we just cut out a whole lot to walk. So we had around it and back where you started. That's a dumb long sentence to walk. It's oh my gosh, circumference. Now. Circumference. There we go. I got it that time. Cool. Walk its circumference. We're already down like 5 words. Great start. It's an isolated town on what appears to be a planetoid island. Ooh, see, we don't need that. We don't need that. We skip it. Get rid of it. Walk its circumference. However, Noclid is actually part of a 4-dimensional shape where parts of the shape and the pathways that connect where parts of the shape. Actually, this is a separate thing that we need to cut and put somewhere else. So I'm going to put that down there. It's actually a part of a 4-dimensional shape where parts of the shape. We can make this sentence better, but I'm going to finish reading it. So, however, Noclid is actually part of a 4-dimensional shape where parts of the shape are only passable during an eclipse. Nope, that's actually also part of the other thing. So we have to cut this, move it down. It's part of a 4-dimensional shape. What's the best way to say this? Okay, so Noclid is actually 3 parts of a 4-dimensional planet. That's probably not the best way to put that, but I don't want to stay here forever. There's actually 3 sides of a 4-dimensional planet. Fourth side being inaccessible to folks. The structure of the only major city in Noclid, here for now, is built out of impossible geometry and seemingly fluctuating elements when viewed and interacted with by 3-dimensional creatures. Do we need that? Do we need to remind people that we're 3-dimensional creatures? It's not something that comes up in conversation a lot. And this is one of the hard things about like doing world building. And I had this a lot when I was doing the one-page lore fantasy folk, is like, you have to come into it knowing, like, trying to figure out what the knowledge base of the person who's reading it will be. So, like, do we understand that we're 3-dimensional creatures on, like, a base level? Yeah, probably. Like, but if you don't remind someone of that, or, like, be like, we are 3D, this is 4D, we can't interact with the fourth side of this, Like, that becomes more abstract, and you have to be aware of, like, are people going to assume that, or do you need to remind them of it? Do you need to tell them, like, hey, this is how it is? So I feel like it needs to be mentioned, but I don't know if this is the best spot to mention it. But it's a very important thing to keep in mind, is what is the knowledge base and the understanding of the person who will be reading it is. Depends on the prevalence of four-dimensional beings in the context of the story. If 4D beings are a large part of the story, then it bears mentioning, I think. So there is nothing in this that's going to deal with four-dimensional beings, other than I would like to get into four-dimensional, like, critters. So if we have room, I would like to put some stuff in here about the wildlife of the area, and that it does interact in the 4 dimensions, like whatever the weird alien wildlife is. But there are no, like, sentient creatures. There's no PC character that could be 4th dimensional. They're all 3-dimensional. And have found this place and are living on it, but it's weird because it has sides that they can't always see, and then it kind of like rotates around them. 32-sided spiders. Yes. Let me make a quick note here. 32-sided spiders. Ooh, okay. Perhaps mention that the 4th side is only inhabited / accessible by local fauna. Yeah, okay, that might work. So, it's built out of impossible geometry and fluctuating elements when viewed and interacted with 3D creatures. It's inaccessible is... Let's say that. With the 4th side... Actually, let's cut that. The 4th side is only accessible to local native fauna and wildlife. Okay. Have you played that 4D Minecraft game? It's super trippy and neat as a tech demo. I didn't even know there was a 4D Minecraft game. And now I'm very curious, even though I don't play Minecraft. But 4D, that gets my attention. All right, so the 4th side is only accessible to native fauna and wildlife. I'm going to switch that. I want it to say wildlife and fauna. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. You were right. Fauna and flora. I'm thinking I had fauna and flora mixed up. I was thinking fauna is a shorter word, so we're going to go with fauna and flora. Yes. For some reason, I had flora and fauna mixed up. Silly me. Thank you. Also, hey, Karanor. Karanar. Karanar? It was Karanar. 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 I had it right, I think. All right. The structures of the only city, we're just gonna say city. Not major, it's the only one. The structures of the only city in Noclid, here for now. Did I mess that up? are built out of impossible geometry and seemingly fluctuating elements when viewed and interacted with. We're going to cut that. We already had our thing about the fourth dimension, so we'll cut that. This chaos can be unsettling to the unfamiliar. Likewise, the strict schedules of seasons, comma, day and night cycles. Okay, we'll do this. I don't have a third one, so likewise, let's see. This chaos can be unsettling to the unfamiliar. Likewise, the strict, I think we can do this. Likewise, the strict schedules of seasons or day and night cycles experienced by the rest of the world can be just as unsettling to those native to Noclid. I have it right. Yes, I remembered. So this is talking about the city of Here for Now, which I think we can cut and put in its own section. Because this is just the introduction. And I feel like getting into the city isn't as important to the introduction. It's very important, but not for this part. I think what's more important is the eclipse pathway. The eclipse, we gotta find a word for that. I like eclipse something. The Let's Thesaurus Road. The Eclipse Expressway. Yeah, get into basic planet structure and then we'll get into the thing. Get into Here for Now. The Eclipse pathway, the Eclipse parking lot. Brilliant. Alley, byway, cobblestone. Let's do path. Yeah, I want a different word instead of path. It's neat for a story, but seems more like a mechanics thing. So that's part of what I want, is this to be a mix of mechanics and story stuff. So like this part is just getting into what it is, like it's a weird thing, and then we have culture and like the problems within. So I want to get into the stuff that it would work both mechanically and for that, you know, oh, I want a character from here. Now I understand the like snapshot of the culture and the layout. How can I build something out of that? So I want it to be a mix of both. So let's do, we're gonna cut this. This is gonna have a bunch of redundant information that I'm sure we can cut. We don't have a thing just for Here for Now. So we're gonna put that here for now. Here for now. And then we'll put that there. Because yeah, right now this is all, you are correct though, this is all mechanical. The Eclipse Pass? That sounds like it would get confusing. The Eclipse Passage? Ooh, the Eclipse Passage. Passage is a long word, but hey. If you don't use Eclipse Expressway, you could always trim it, give it a public transportation system. So the Eclipse Express. I think we're gonna use Eclipse Passage for now. Where? During an eclipse. A pathway connects Noclid to the closest plane, where the rest of one-page lore name exists. So we can cut that. So during an eclipse, a pathway connects Noclid to the closest plane. Folk can travel to the other for a short time. An event called the Eclipse Passage connects Noclid to the closest plane, where folk can travel to for a short time. Okay. Got that. That draft done. Hit save. Continue on. All right, so this, I bet we can cut quite a lot of this. That's a lot of sentences. By the way, what do you end up doing with these? So my plan is to make, because I made the one-page lore fantasy folk, and that's a package thing of like 24 or 5 different folk all together that all have one page. So my plan for this is to make a whole bunch of locations and then package those together as its own little book. And then you have just one page of lore and information to give to players to be like, here are places you can be from, and they'll have enough information to get inspired to make something that fits within the world. Or if a GM is like, people gotta go somewhere, where they gotta go, they can quickly read through something, have a good outline of what they could do with it, and then run with it in a direction they want to go. So a little guidebook, a little lore guide. Similar to one-page lore fantasy folk, but for locations, is the end product I would like to have. So having a bunch of these, if that makes sense. Well, I can already see that conjunctions. Oh yeah, and when doing it like this, conjunctions are your friend. They save on a lot of space if you constantly use them. Same with using numbers instead of spelling words. Big fan of that. All right, so we can change this section name, but for now it's just called Life on a 4D Surface. And let's see what we got. Life in Noclid functions like a town built on a plate of gears of varying sizes. I believe that was a line taken from Blight. There's a pattern to most of it that takes years to get used to, but nothing will be in the same area or even state of being from day to day. I feel like we could just cut that. I feel like and there's always a strange connection or coincidence that makes the world change in unexperienced ways. I feel like I can cut that too. That's kind of a flowery way to say something that we need a little more concrete, and I think we can do later. All of Noclid's surface is part of a 4D shape. All known folk exist in 3 dimensions, meaning there's always part of Noclid folk can't see or interact with. However, as Noclid shifts, a previously unseen part may become visible. We're just going to say becomes visible, though some other part will shift and vanish from sight. I'm okay with that. Since the ground is part of a 4D shape, this makes building new structures difficult, since they may shift and be gone until that part of the surface returns. I'm not sure that's vital information. My thought being, I wanted something that would inform people why everybody... Actually, I think this will work better in the section about Here for Now, because the reason everybody lives in Here for Now is because the buildings there are stable. And if you just try and be like, well, I'm just gonna build a shack, I'll just build my own house out in the country, screw all these people, I don't want to be near them. Big mood. If you would go out there and build a shack, as the ground shifts, eventually, you know, it would move to another side of the shape that you now don't have access to. So your home is gone for a while. So, but I think that would be better in the section for Here for Now, explaining why people live there. So we're going to move that there. I'm going to keep it highlighted yellow as like a reminder of this might get cut, or at least do some heavy changing. All right, so all of this 4D shape. Some other parts will shift and vanish from sight. This chaotic pattern extends to other things such as growing crops. Okay, so I hate the phrase other things. So this chaotic pattern extends... I feel like we don't have to. We've already just established it's chaotic and weird. So I think we just cut that sentence and start right here. Rather than having a season of planting and harvest, they must plant where and when they can. As the ground shifts, the crops can move to an intangible side of Noclid for an uncertain amount of time. Scouts rove? Is that the right word? Is that a way I could... Nope. Scouts prowl Noclid for previously planted crops that have returned and spaces ready to for planting. Other seemingly unstable elements such as day and night, which shift and change as infrequently as frequently. Actually, we're just gonna say as unpredictably as the weather in the rest of today. We don't need. Scour could work to emphasize the urgency to which they need to find things before they vanish again. Ooh, that's a good one. Scour. I like scour, that's a good word. All right, so this sentence is garbage, so we're gonna fix it. Other seemingly unstable elements. Yeah, this is wrong. This is just a bad sentence. So we're gonna say day and night shifts as day and night shifts as unpredictably as the weather in the other planes. So my hope is that we're up here talking about planes where the rest of the stuff happens. And I'm trying to, this is hard because it's in an alternate dimension. Ooh, that's a thing, actually. In a parallel dimension. Yeah, however, Noclid is actually 3 sides of a 4-dimensional planet in a parallel dimension. There we go. That was information we did need. To its closest plane. All right. Rather than having a season of planting. Okay, we did that one. Day and night shifts as unpredictably as the weather in other planes. Season is seasons? Seasons are in a state of constant flux, leading to snow the day after a heat wave, and trees with a mix of fresh green leaves and wilting orange ones. This isn't entirely vital, but I like it. I think it adds something to it, to the idea of like how chaotic this place is. So I think I want to keep this, but I'll highlight it yellow just in case. Let me change this to day and night shifts as rapidly as the weather. What also might help is if we had a name for the other plane. We're just gonna say in its neighboring plane. Day and night day and night shifts as rapidly as the weather in its neighboring plane. Okay. I think it could be used specifically to make the gameplay on the planet interesting, perhaps rolling each round to determine if the elements shift. Yeah, that's kind of a thing I was thinking of. Or like not, yeah, like that's the sort of thing that I want you to think about when you read this. Is like, oh, I could like roll dice to change the plate. Like that's the whole point of like a sentence like this, and really the whole thing as a whole. The whole thing as a whole, what a sentence. Is I want to spark that sort of thought and to be like, oh, this is different and I could do this. So yes, brilliant idea. Wonder if fluctuations make sounds. Would it be so noisy maybe? Ooh, that's a good thought. I don't know. All right, we're gonna keep noise in mind. So we're gonna add a comment. Comment, there it is. Noisy. And then we're gonna keep going. So I'm not sure how much space we're gonna have. Definitely worth keeping, I feel. All right, cool. That's one vote. This unpredictable nature fosters a culture poised between immediacy and relaxation. Procrastination one day means you might not get another opportunity for months. However, stressing about something you have no control over only brings untimely gray hair. There's a balance in knowing when to act and when to wait. I feel like this could be trimmed. I think they would either an underlying humming / buzzing to signify that something is shifting, or even a loud pop, something entering existing reception reality. Oh, that's interesting. See, I was thinking like if it made a noise, it would be more like a clicking sound, where it was this object like moving around in itself. So kind of like a like if you were shifting pieces of a three-dimensional, of like a puzzle box. I like that we have different thoughts on what it would sound like. The amount of energy required for things to shift like that would be massive. So it makes sense, I think. I think that's cool. All right, so we gotta trim the sentence. So this unpredictable nature fosters a culture poised between immediacy and relaxation. I was picturing a slow but constant flux that would be like a low environmental grinding sound. I love this. I love all these words you all are saying. It's exactly what I like. It's just, that's totally what I want. I want to provide enough information for you to start like thinking about stuff. Procrastination. Procrastinating one day means you may not get another opportunity for months. I don't like that sentence. I like what that sentence is telling me. I don't like how that sentence is structured. Basically saying if you procrastinate even a little bit, you might lose your shot for like a large amount of time. But I think that's not a good sentence. So maybe procrastinating. We're gonna come back to here for now, but I just thought of that, so I'm gonna highlight that now. Okay, I'm gonna stew on that and go to the next sentence. However, stressing about something you have no control over only brings untimely gray hair. There's a balance in knowing when to act and when to wait. That, I feel like, speaks to the culture, and I want to keep that. Because I don't want people to be like, oh, it's an unpredictable world, so everybody's like manic all the time. But I don't know if that's the best way to put it. That is a weird. I don't want to automatically assume negative things, but is there a reason that's your opening question to being here, Mike? All right, so procrastination. So how could we say this in a sentence? That like procrastination is bad for a specific reason. Like that it is that procrastination is detrimental in this society. I also think I might be overdoing this because I think in culture this might come up. So I'm going to highlight this. So I think this last paragraph actually could go into the culture section, which we're going to go to next, because we're going to keep slight procrastination can result in permanent consequences. Ooh. Okay, I do have to spell that right though. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna highlight this because I think I do want to keep this. I've been stewing on it and I do want to keep it. So we're gonna remove this. I think might go somewhere else, so we're gonna keep it highlighted. Okay, here for now. Anything we have on the city of here for now, we'll move to this section. So we're gonna skip over this in case something else comes up. It's not entirely limited to this world, so I may want to mull over a better sentence. I think it does speak to it really well, though. But yeah, we still might change that. So culture. Noclid is a single community of 200,000 folks. All but a few live in here for now. Their isolation means relying on each other is vital to survival, and anyone who lacks in their responsibilities directly harms those around them, creating immense social pressure to remain vigilant. Oh. I'm ready to hear. There's no reason for the day-to-day needs are unpredictable. Folks rarely specialize in one career. Instead, having the knowledge and skills to fluctuate between multiple occupations as needed. I didn't think of one, but I have a fun town slogan. Oh, do share. So skills fluctuate between multiple occupations as needed. If structures need immediate repair, a number of folks in, let's just say, folks in overserviced areas will drop those duties and find new work repairing. Let's just say to start repairs. If mass violence breaks out, or if a mass breakout of violence occurs, the need for mental health providers will be met. That could definitely be a shorter sentence. Here for now is 5 o'clock anywhere. It's 5 o'clock everywhere. Alright, so day-to-day needs are unpredictable. Folks rarely specialize in one career, instead having the knowledge and skills to fluctuate between multiple occupations as needed. If structures need immediate repair, folks in overserviced areas will drop You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock everywhere. Structures need immediate repair. Folks in overserviced areas will drop. Do I need to say they will stop? Because basically, if you're a farmer, but there's a bunch of buildings that need repair, and there's a lot of farmers right now, you'll just stop being a farmer and start being a repair person. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're an electrician, but people need therapy. So, like, you're now a therapist. So I need to find a short way to say you'll stop doing your current job and start doing a different one. Cease what they're doing. And start repairs. What about running bit? I don't know how to work it in here. Of a typical conversation. Hey, do you know what time it is? Don't think I could make that work. That does give me an idea of like an extra page for this. That would be like, what would essentially be like local slang or like how people talk to each other. Would be kind of neat. But it would be like an extra thing, because I feel like that's not as vital in understanding a place as the other stuff, but I think it could really help. I think I'm going to drop this whole section. I feel like one is good enough. Do you think I need more examples? Like, short dated story about day-to-day life. I feel like I need a better example than repairs. Like I need like a career choice. Like repair is fine, but like construction. But they don't really build things, they repair things. I think that's good for now. We're gonna leave that. It's not here for now, it's good for now. All right. A career unique to Noclid is reverse engineer. They work to understand the technology that runs here for now and sustains their way of life. Oral history is vital because the direness of some information can only be conveyed through a stressful tone and an intense stare. Many believe Noclid seeks out and devours things written about it or its technology. So this is specifically about here for now. So we're going to move this into our section about here for now. So that's culture. All right, so I wanted a spot in wildlife. One of the things that we talked about last time was invasive species, and I thought a really fun invasive species would be turtles, because they're like not apex predators or anything. Like you think invasive species, it's like, what is it, is it a type of boa in the Everglades in Florida that's like really wrecking the native wildlife, or like things like that where it's like, oh man, a really wild apex predator coming in and messing stuff up. But I thought turtles would be a fun invasive species, that like the creatures that are there, a 3D creature trying to interact with a 4D creature, like the 4D creature would pretty much always have an advantage over it, but that nothing in Noclid, it has like the evolutionary pathing that turtles have, so nothing has like just straight up tanky armor. And so native predators are struggling because the turtle population is like making things harder for them, because they're taking, you know, wildlife real estate and they can't really be hunted the same way. So I thought an invasive creature that was not a predator would be cool. But that's going to be in native wildlife if we can make that section work. So we'll see about that. Oh, and if we can, we do have to have 32-sided spider. Was that the note? 32-sided spiders. What'll that be? We'll figure it out when we get there. I usually think of bugs for invasive species. Cease what they're doing and begin rebuilding. Ooh, that. I'll go with that. Maybe it's just because someone else wrote it, so I feel more confident about it, but I'll go with that. I like that. Completely, that's a really fun idea. Completely unexpected. Yeah, like I wanted something that was like something that was protected and passive, but like, you know, if you have like a snapping turtle or something, like it could still protect itself. It is a predator, or it can be against, you know, certain things, and like that just, there's no, it's a hard counter to essentially the meta of this place. You know what could be fun? Creature invade. Actually, no, that would be fun, but not really useful to the story. What would be a fun creature? What do you think would be a fun invasive species? All right, now this section I think we can definitely trim. I got wordy. So, problems. Current problems in Noclid. After generations of living with minimal contact with the world beyond, what do we say? The eclipse passage. Also, I feel like there's not enough about the eclipse passage, and that needs to be in here to be a little bit clearer. I was thinking how I'd like to see a chameleon try to blend into fluctuating landscape. Ooh. Ooh. So, like a creature that could change, like chameleon, octopus, something that can change its color and perceived texture in the case of octopuses, that you could have, like, maybe they don't like perceive the fourth dimension fully, but they understand something about it, and that maybe how their color changing abilities act makes them legitimately invisible to the fourth dimension, and that like they just are essentially can't be hunted. 40 chameleon, I love the idea, except instead of shifting its color, it has evolved and adapt to slip between dimensions to escape predators. Oh, that'd be fun. It can only work in 3 of the 4 dimensions, but it can choose which 3. That's kind of fun. All right, we're in the last section, so this is good, because it's 1:30, so we're making progress. Problems. After generations of living with minimal contact with the world beyond the eclipse passage, 2 ideals are clashing on how Noclid should advance. One mindset believes contact with the outside world has brought more harm than good. We can shorten that. Outside has is destroying. Let's just say it's destroying Noclid. One mindset believes that contact with the outside is contact via the eclipse passage is destroying Noclid. Livestock bought during I'm gonna say brought back livestock brought back from the neighboring dimension carried foreign disease that killed many herds. Invasive species So here's the thing. If I have a section on wildlife, we don't need this. But so we're gonna highlight it for now. Just in case I don't get my section on wildlife. Oh boy, stop highlighting. There we go. Unhighlight. There we go. Okay. Invasive species like turtles have upset the balance of the wild. Have upset the balance of native wildlife. Shorter. After generations isolation from the world beyond the eclipse passage, two clashing visions of Noclid's future have emerged. Now I'm very curious. Hang on. Also, hi Crawdad. Your sentence. 19 words. My sentence. 23 words. After generations of isolations from the world beyond the eclipse passage, two clashing visions of Noclid's future have emerged. Crawdad wins. Let's see. It just came from a flavor text thought. The sun was cold and shining. The wind blew as indecisively as yesterday and tomorrow. A chameleon almost collapsed from exhaustion. Tried to blend into a rock that has been 6 different kinds since the moment I saw it. Poor guy who knows what it was when he climbed on top of it. Oh, I like that. See, that's exactly what I want this to invoke in you. Is like that sentence right there. Let's see. Invasive species like turtles have upset the balance of native wildlife. Folks are sick with foreign ailments. The ideals of individualism are disrupting Noclid's communal philosophies. I'm gonna cut this part. I have causing problems ranging from scouts not doing their jobs right to reverse engineers quitting before transferring their knowledge. I don't think I need that. I just say it's disrupting their philosophies. Boom. Talk of leaving at the next eclipse passage runs wild. It's running wild! Livestock bearing foreign diseases, invasive species wreaking havoc on the ecosystem, and unknown new ailments plaguing the locals. If you're looking for Titan passage a bit. Ooh. Let me see. Livestock bearing foreign disease, invasive species wreaking havoc on the ecosystem, and unknown I'm gonna say since I like that sentence, but I have to make it work right here. One mindset believes what about bears foreign disease? wreak havoc on the ecosystem, and unknown ailments plague the locals. So, one mindset believes contact via the Eclipse Passage is destroying Noclid. Livestock bears foreign diseases. Invasive species wreak havoc on the ecosystem, and unknown ailments plague the locals. The ideals of individualism are disrupting Noclid's communal philosophies. Talk of leaving at the next Eclipse Fave runs wild. Teamwork! Yeah, teamwork. Just like playing a TTRPG. It requires teamwork. Okay. No, it's not what I want. Talk of leaving. Just say many talk of leaving at the next. And many talk of leaving at the next Eclipse Passage. These outside forces upset the balance. The ancient machines these outside forces upset the balance of the ancient machines they rely on. They believe limiting contact to the outside world and continuing to rely on the ancient machines that predate them is best. We're gonna cut that and change it to something like this. Shit's getting bad and people want out. Yeah, pretty much. They believe limiting contact to the outside world and relying on the ancient machines that predate them is best. The other sees the flaws in relying on technology they don't understand, nor know how long it will last. Soon, something will break and they won't be able to fix it. That's basically the same thing. I don't need that. So, the other sees the flaws in relying on technology they don't understand nor know how long it'll last. Or know how long it'll last. If they can establish trade while the Eclipse Passage is open, they could rely on themselves more than the ancient machines. They could begin to rely on themselves more than the ancient machines. They see stagnation in their isolation and wish to experience the values, cultures, and beliefs of others to help them grow. Okay. This could probably be tightened, but I think that works. I'm gonna read it again. I gotta stop you there. What's that? Oh, okay. What are you stopping me for? Look at how much space we have. When we started this, these three were on the next page. That's how much editing helps. So now we're down to 750 words. We cut over 100 words. That's freaking great. Okay, while I wait to find out why I'm being stopped there, I'm going to continue, ironically. Neither side has a monopoly on what's best. I don't like that. Neither side knows what's truly best for Noclid, but leaders at the forefront of both ideals are trying to polarize the public to support one or the other. Without room for compromise. I have a clue issue with people in a constantly changing place finding stagnation in their isolation. Doesn't really play to the world. Brevity is wit. Brevity is the soul of wit. Agree. Core, got it. I have a core issue with. So the idea being their isolation, stagnation in culture. So like if you have a group of 200,000 people, and that's your whole world. So the idea being that their culture is built around relying on something that they don't understand, and there's only so many of them, and everybody lives in the same place, versus a world like ours where we advance technology, we have multiple different forms of government, we have multiple different ways in which people live, lots of different places where people live, different ideals based on that information, and like how people interact and all that. So there would be so many things that we would do that just come naturally that they wouldn't do or hadn't thought of, and that the stagnation is a cultural thing. Does that make sense? And knowing that doesn't come across well is good to know, like that I can make that clearer. But it would be like if you lived in a town that never made music, and then you heard music, and it's like, well, that's great, why don't we do that too? To further explain their distrust of said machines, maybe change it to rely more on themselves rather than dying technology. Ooh, that's good. I like dying technology. We don't know if it's dying, but I like that. Then dying technology. Then, ooh. But the entire place at its base is rich with unpredictability. I don't think you could stagnate by definition. I think the story you're proposing is a bit too RPG typical, and this setting should be the canvas to truly do something unique. So what are you thinking, Blight? Because I'm not against changing it. Could also just change the word stagnation. Said dying. Dated I don't think would work, because the technology is from shoot, I don't know if that made it in here. That's gonna have to be in the section about here for now. That the technology it wasn't theirs, it was there when they got there, and it is incredibly far future. And they do not know how it works. So dated generally refers to something that's older, whereas this is something that's like far beyond understanding. A penumbra is the edge of an eclipse shadow. Metaphorically, it is used to denote an uncertain border. You could use penumbra instead of eclipse passage to save a little space, the side of Penumbra is Noclid, the other side is the regular world. Damn. Crawdad just dropping some good ideas. Like he's writing his own book and not in my stream. I like that. How about we can't do this? We need to be more independent to... We gotta figure this out. Our 3D brains aren't supposed to get this, but we don't have a choice. Let's double down on... double down. Where we are. Okay. Autocorrect. Really trying to change your sentences today. Penumbra. Oh, apparently there's also a episodic survival horror game called Penumbra, but that's not what I'm trying to find. So it'd be the So just call it, instead of the Eclipse Passage, it's just the Penumbra. Penumbra. Hey, Jackal, how's it going? Here's what I'm gonna do. Penumbra. I did not save it. Let's try this again. New comment. Penumbra. Why is this not? Oh, it is. Okay, it was just, it's over there. Got it. Okay. That's just it twice. Usually it shows me a little thing, but all right. I'm just saying, in a setting like this, if you can pull the story out and put it into any other RPG setting, not working this premise to its full potential. I got you. It's in. Damn it. I got you. I think it's a good point. All right, so where... Culture. How about just they wish to experience the values, cultures, and beliefs of others to help them grow. Beyond their dependency. Ancient machines. Technology with... What about technology with an unknown lifespan? It's already strange. I don't know if we need that. New things are changing more rapidly than before. Old methods can't keep up. But as Blight said, some people would be like, stick with what worked before, it'll work again. That sentence, for example, could work also just about people stuck on an island. Does that make sense? Yeah. The idea being it, I think that does make sense, because the idea is that, like, this is a similar idea to the isolated island, but you know, ooh, unknown longevity. I like longevity. It's the hardships we're talking about are too relatable. Hey, how are you doing, Aiden? Boylan. How are things? Doing well. We're building a really fun little spot here. And we freed up a lot of room, which is good because we got to do a lot of adding to this section. So. Hardships we're talking about are too relatable for a 4D area. But I want some level of, because I want the weirdness of, like, there are some weird things that you will only get from being a three-dimensional creature interacting with a 4D environment, but also relatability, because I don't want it to be completely foreign, because it is still made up of people living in this place, and so there would be things that are relatable just in societal needs and, like, your understanding and, you know, fun stuff. And some more complications. Also, how are things with you, Aiden? You can make it relatable, but not... You can make it relatable, but not how they are supposed to work. I mean, I want it to be parts of it to be relatable, but not everything, because it's got to be weird. But if it's completely unrelatable, it's going to be really hard for people to like make a story in it or to expand upon it. Looks like a lot of work. Does have fun though. Oh yeah, I love this kind of stuff, but it is a lot of work. Get it because you have to take care of the parents that are younger than you, to reuse an idea. That I wanted to do for a different place, because that I wanted to have like a whole time traveling flotilla. And in there, because this is only dealing with dimensions and 4D objects, versus the time traveling flotilla is dealing with time disruptions, like having parents that are younger than you, or having the result of something you did happen long after it should have, because I wanted to. There's no way I could do time and space in this one in one page, so I wanted to divide those up, because I do like those time. I actually have a whole bunch of notes in here about the time traveling flotilla. Time traveling flotilla is somehow so evocative. Oh, good. 40 is beyond the concept of time, though. I'm cool if someone else wants to introduce that as an element in here, but like I said, I just can't add that to this and cover everything else. There's just not enough word space. So it's gonna have to be a separate thing. Sorry to be so quiet. I'm here, but also at work. I'm multitasking. I love this, though. Creating things is so satisfying. Oh, you're good, Kernora. No one is under obligation to talk any more than they can or want to. I'm happy you're here and that you're enjoying it. And I also think creating things is very satisfying. Our storage chests and Noclid actually hypercubes. So, Jackal. That's exactly what we were talking about with what the buildings would be. So the actual structures in the city of Here for Now, which is going to have that's its placeholder name, is the buildings are all hypercubes. Bye, Aiden. You take care. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, so the buildings are all hypercubes. But we haven't gotten to that quite yet. I mean, here I am late to the party. No, you're good. We have the buildings are hypercubes, and the city is powered by windmills with a Penrose triangle on them, or Mobius strips, or both. We haven't quite decided that yet. But like basically, you know, impossible geometry. But like, no, you're right on board though. The fact that your head went there is like super encouraging, that this kind of conversation is putting you in that mindset. All right, it is 2 o'clock, so I was very optimistic saying we will finish this. I was way off, but we are quite a bit closer than we were. It's good amount of trimming. We got some space opened up. This is good. This is really good. So I'm gonna end it there though, because it's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna do some more work on this on my own probably, but this was awesome. Thanks everybody. Just throwing out thoughts, Blight, but your thoughts are so good. Like, I appreciate the thoughts you throw out. It's cool. That's why I do this like this. Like, like I said, your thoughts are good. You're a very creative person, and I really like that about talking these weird ideas with you. And then also doing this in this kind of setup is because I like feedback. It's neat. All right. Thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. Cool beans. Thanks for the stream. Make it earlier. Sub Wednesday. It's okay. We'll be excited when you hear it earlier. Just feeding back what a player might need it to point out. Oh, absolutely. And I greatly appreciate that, Blight. Like, that's incredibly helpful, because I can only see it from my perspective. So having it from yours is really nice. Same for other people. Like, knowing what you think is missing that would be helpful is really nice to know. Very close. Eager to see what advantages and drawbacks are suited to this world. That, I feel like, is probably going to end up being its own 2-hour thing at this point. Is like, how do we structure this? Should be fun. All right, so let me hit a raid. It looks like Blitz, V, and Scottish Geek are all on. And those are the only 3 people I have on. So if someone else has someone they want to raid, throw it out, and I'll hit them up. Aiden, hey Jesse, before I go, I'd love to learn more about world building. If you could ever give some tips next time you do stream. Hey Aiden, I do this RPG help desk every Wednesday from what time it is now. Go back 2 hours. That's when I start. So I start at noon Eastern to 2 Eastern. It's 2 Eastern now. So whatever time it is now, go back 2 hours. Every Wednesday I am here, and it is about building stuff, answering questions. RPG help desk is about being a help desk. Like if you have questions, especially about world building and stuff, heck yeah, pop in and ask them. We usually have a theme that we do, but I'm okay with getting off topic too. I also have a link. If you do, did this work? There we go. Yeah, !Q for question. That gives you a link to a Google form, and you can type in your question there, and you can sign your name or leave it anonymous, and that I can see, and I can actually use that as a topic for a day or part of a day. So if it's a long question, or if you want to make sure I get to it at some point, like absolutely throw it in there. Well, hey, Game Master's Vault. You're coming in right when I'm about to leave, but hey, how are you doing? Given your name, I'm assuming you found me through for the TTRPG stuff. Excellent. Cheers for that, mate. Hey, cheers to you, Aiden. Blight says, I have an idea. It might change everything, though. Look, if you change everything, you know what that means? That just means I have a new place to make with those new ideas that you brought up. Seems like a win-win. Due to the nature of a 4D world on 3D people, each session the stats are re-rolled instead of a player leveling and need to be play the cards you are dealt. I feel like that would be fun. I wouldn't want to make that a hard rule, but I think that would be a really fun thing, that like while you're here, you constantly re-roll stuff about your character, and then like it reverts back to normal when you go back across. But if you're on this world, like things fluctuate more. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, if anybody has a raid to go to, put it in chat. And if not, in like a minute, I'll pick someone else. That's a fun idea, but dang, does that sound like it would take a long time to actually start playing every session? You wouldn't want to do it in like Pathfinder or 5e, because yes, that would take an insane amount of time. In a lighter system like Fate or like Monster of the Week, that could work. But yeah, with a system with a bunch of like synergistic things, like, oh, these stats affect these scores, and then what this score is changes that, and then you have these different modifiers. Yeah, that would be just too much for me. Just stats, nothing else. But if you change your stats, that means you change your skills in a game like World of Darkness, or in, well, no, it wouldn't change in World of Darkness. You could do it for World of Darkness because you could just roll differently. But in Pathfinder or 5e, it would change your skills as well, because they're based on your stats and those modifiers. Also, hey, Rat Beach. All right, we're gonna go to V because I haven't rated V in a while. And I rated Blitz yesterday. I'm surprised B isn't on. Or literally produce skills and stats on cards, and they are redrawn. Gotta be quicker. but the spirit is the same. Oh, that would be fun. I would like that as a whole, like, mechanic for it. That, like, this is how you have stuff, and it's randomly drawn. I think that could be really neat. All right. We're gonna go over to V. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. It was a good old time. Fun as always. Tomorrow night, Blight and I will be playing probably Half Dead. You can come by and check that out. It sounds like fun. I'm very excited. And then I'm off Friday, and then Saturday, do escapist stuff. So hopefully I'll see you around here, and if not, in Discord, and if not either, well, I hope you're really enjoying whatever it is you're doing. Bye.